giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're drive-in theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? What's it doing? How are you? Is everyone having a great time tonight? Whoa, all right, we're here. We're doing it.
I
We're
feel
doing
like
it.
you're like the excited guy on stage for like you're about to introduce like a Christian rock band.
All right, everybody. Put those hymnals together for the drive-in speaker box.
All right, we're just going to tell you guys to tithe over at our Patreon that we never pay attention to.
But
yeah.
what if we got some patrons?
We did.
Though?
We did have a Patreon.
We should start that back. Get Patreon going. Get some patrons. Do something special for them.
Yeah, we should. I mean, we did have a Patreon guy for a while, and we never did anything special for him. He did like a $20 a month tier or something for.
Well, let's find out who that guy is.
It's Jordan. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's just go buy him a sandwich. And
his reward can be that he can go watch a movie with us.
that's right. That's a slippery can of worms we might open. I've met a
that's
few.
just for Jordan. That's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah. That's a limited time offer for people that we know are cool. But anyway, welcome to the Drive-In Speakerbox. Of course, I'm your host, Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
And for the next hour and some change, we're going to be talking to you about movies. We're going to review some movies. We're going to talk about what's coming out in the theaters this weekend. And
I don't know if you see our comment by ourselves, but Halloween favorite of yours, Halloween.
oh God, is it getting re-released?
I know that's one of your holiday favorites.
Medea Halloween. No, thank you. But it is spooky up here in the studio. We are, of course, always live streaming right here from Speaker Lab Studios. If you ever want to tune in and see our faces, participate in the chat, you can do so over on Facebook.com/The Drive-In Speakerbox or our YouTube channel, YouTube Live. It's YouTube.com/The Drive-In Speakerbox, just like the Facebook. Pretty easy to remember, right? So, yeah, here we go. Shout out to Chicago there. We got Vince always tuning in, always loyal from the evening time in the Chicago. But we've got two movies we're going to be reviewing later in the show. There was a lot of movies that came out, but The Grip.
Hold on.
Oh,
I have two.
You've got two. I've got one. I forgot you went and saw the Bollywood film that we were talking about last week.
Bollywood.
It's not Bollywood?
Telugu.
Oh,
Bollywood is specifically for Hindi.
Yeah, Hindi films.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. All right, well, cool. Well, what movies are you going to be talking about tonight?
Well, since we're already on the subject of the Telugu cinema movie that I watched, I saw Saida Narasimha Reddy.
We're Narasimha Reddy.
I watched the special release of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Ooh, all right.
Which, hey,
the Fathom event?
Since we're at the top of the show here, quick shout out.
Did you get your poster?
Yeah, I did, but I almost didn't. So shout out to Ray, who saw that I
That's a
was
big fist.
posterless. Yeah, dude, it's the cock knocker fist.
The cock knocker?
Yeah, have you not seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
I forgot about the cock knocker.
Right. So shout out to her for providing me with too many of them way prior to
buttholes.
Everyone getting there for the movie. So shout out to her. Super cool to give me a poster for that.
All right, so we're going to be discussing that, and then I went and saw Zombieland Double Tap, and check that out in the theaters. We're going to be talking about that in the program later this evening.
The Search for Twinkies round 2.
They had no mention of Twinkies at all in that one, but we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. A little bit of news this week. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Of course, it is Comic Book Central's Comic Book Nation lately with the Watchmen show launching over on HBO.
Oh, I need to sign up for HBO again. when I got rid of my cable and everything, I got rid of HBO Go right after friggin'
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones ended. And I've been meaning to sign back up for HBO Now, since HBO Now is now just as good as Go. So I need to go with the Now. I've been meaning to do that. So I will soon get my HBO back.
You'll have 6 HBO subscriptions.
HBO Now.
Go now and get the subscription. But they've got the new Watchmen. But I don't know if you saw the new trailer, kind of an oddball comic book franchise. I think it was from Valiant Comics, but Bloodshot.
Dude, I did see that trailer.
Did you see this trailer?
It looks sick. It's like RoboCop, but different.
I didn't think this is what you were going to say.
Dude, did you see the trailer?
I mean, I should have known.
It's like Universal Soldier meets RoboCop.
Meets Fast and the Furious.
No, just because it has Vin Diesel in it. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Pitch Black? That has nothing to do with Fast and Furious.
Pitch Black is pretty cool.
Yeah, and this looks cool too.
I mean, it didn't look terrible.
What was that movie with the dude that looked like Tom Hardy who had robot in his body?
Oh, Upgrade?
Yeah.
That was pretty.
It's kind of like
sweet.
Universal meets Upgrade meets RoboCop, and that looks awesome.
I mean, I wasn't disappointed in the trailer, mainly because I got a little cameo appearance from one of my favorite actors, a very underrated actor, Guy Pearce. He usually doesn't take terrible roles. He's been known for a couple of stinkers here and there, but for the most part, Guy Pearce takes pretty cool movies, and he is the bad guy in this movie.
You don't know. Base Prison.
And he was in one of my favorite movies about the Wendigo, which is a great recommendation for as it gets colder and it's October. Normally, I like to watch it when it snows, but it's good for a Halloween watch, and it's Ravenous. If you've never seen Ravenous, that's a really cool.
Check this out. Talking about comic, except it's like Murder Tally, and he's covered in it.
Murdermento.
Yeah. Except Zaz is always like a lame villain, and he's the first one that you beat in every video game.
Yeah, he's always the starter, the tutorial villain. Like, that's got to be a really sad thing for whoever created some of those villains, where you're like, your dude's always the tutorial dude in all the video games. It's like,
think about all the guys that made like really good Batman villains pre-Joker, and they're like, really? That's the one? Really?
True.
You know.
Speaking of Batman villains, everybody's been talking about the new casting with Rob Pat's Batman, or what is going to be called The Batman, or whatever. Well, they've cast their Riddler finally, and it's going to be played by none other than Paul Dano. And I'm okay with this selection.
This is the Robert Pattinson Batman?
I believe so. Yeah, Paul Dano. You know Paul Dano. He plays a really good disturbed person, and I think that he's going to make an excellent Edward Nygma. I'm okay with some of these casting, and I think there's
So who's Jonah Hill going to be? Is he going to be Penguin?
He's nobody. I think he's out. I read in an article that he's not going to be Penguin, and nor is he going to be Riddler. So I think he's totally out. And I think
Jonah Hill might actually be a really good Penguin, though.
Dude, he would have been a great Penguin. I honestly, I think he would have really done a fantastic job, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do the project.
Get Danny DeVito back in there to be Penguin.
We've still got him. And also a little casting of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
When's the last time you saw Zoe Kravitz in a movie and you're like, oh, killed that role? You're like, oh, she's in that teen movie again, playing the same character again, and
playing the really hot, bohemian, dreadlockian.
That's
activist girl that works at the record store.
No, that's like her in life. I'm talking like that.
But no, she plays that
character
role all the
that
time
she gets stuck in all her tween movies, where she's like,
oh, you're talking about her tween period.
Yeah. Where she's like always like hey, I'm the cool one, kinda, except that one's cooler than me. And then they're like, oh, okay, cool. what else is new? And she's like, "Oh, so I'm done with this movie now."
And
You
also,
know what she does?
it's Zoe Kravitz, so that's okay. I'm okay with that. She comes from a good bloodline, She can't fail. But anyway, she's going to be our new Catwoman. Anyway, other movie news, not so much comic book related. What was I going to mention? I don't remember. Oh, no, this is also comic book related. Oh, gosh, I can't believe I forgot about this. But did you hear about this? Man, this Netflix doing a good, and they are going to attempt. I don't know if they're actually going to do it because other places have tried to attempt this before, but they're going to adapt an animated series based off of Jeff Smith's Bone. And what, you don't like Bone? Look at that.
No, I'm just like, how do you do that?
I know, that's the thing. It's like Bone is great, and he's won multiple Eisner Awards. Like the Bone comic is very, very well respected. Nickelodeon tried to do a film in the 90s, and then Warner Brothers tried to have an adaptation, and it never flew.
If we're doing weird, stylized, like author-owned comic books that are being thrown into the mix for something, where the hell is my Goon?
I've been waiting for Goon for a really long time. And there was a Goon movie, but it had really nothing to do with the comics. And I think wasn't there a Goon Telltale game?
I
think
don't know.
there might have been a Goon.
But if we're talking like indie comics that are author-owned, not Marvel, DC nonsense,
Goon is pretty sweet.
I want Goon.
That's what we need to be Goon for a different Halloween.
Wait, like you would be the talkative guy?
Yeah,
and
I'd be the
I
little
would be
one,
Goon.
and you'd just be Goon. I'd be like the little guy with the hat that's always running his mouth. I mean, that's kind of what we already are.
I'll start getting. I'll look for a muscle suit because there's no way you can be Goon size without that.
No, you can't. You're gonna need some big cock knockers too. Just those big old meaty cock knockers to blow, blow, blow on the bad dudes. But I'm okay with that. Pull up a picture of Goon. Let's see if we can get a little display.
You know what was fun in the comics while we're waiting on that? When they did crossover art in like the Dark Horse comics, and you had Mike Mignola do Goon art, and they had like the Goon guys do some art for Death Clock. Old Metalocalypse comics and stuff.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was like a whole big artist crossover where different artists
that's
from
the skiing movie. Yeah.
Hey, that's a good movie. I still haven't seen the second one of that.
They made a second one of
Yeah,
that?
there's a second one. It came. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
That needs to be right there on the left. That picture of both of them. There you go. That's what we need to be one year for Halloween. I gotta figure out how to wipe my eyes out though. It's gonna be weird. But yeah, Goon is awesome, man. It is pretty sweet. Yeah.
Oh, there's the comic I'm talking about right there with
Vinny
Hellboy on it.
Nosferatu?
No, like right next to that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, left from there.
Two more.
Yeah.
To the left. There it is.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goon and Hellboy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be. Next time. Actually, we could probably throw that together on the quick and do it on actual Halloween.
Yeah.
And speaking of Halloween, do you have your costume together? Griffin?
Mostly, yeah.
What do we have? Can we know what it's gonna be?
It's really stupid.
Okay.
I'm going to be one of our fellow YouTubers who has way more subscribers than us. I'm going to dress as Ed Bassmaster.
Ed Bassmaster, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where did that come from?
Because it's funny, and I have a great idea for it.
Okay.
I mean, do you just want me to give the whole thing away real quick?
You don't have to.
I mean, I can. Sure. All right, so I'm going to...
Sure, gonna do it.
If you ever watch Ed Bassmaster, who's here on YouTube, he does a lot of characters and pranks on people. He's like one of those prank channels. Not everything's great on it. But I'm going to be the psh guy.
So you've got that sweater? You found a Cosby sweater?
Dude, okay, so fun fact, everyone. You can't find Cosby sweaters anymore because the name Cosby doesn't work the way it used to. So when you type in Cosby sweaters, it's all just sweaters that have really bad jokes and innuendos and things on them rather than the actual sweaters known as Cosby sweaters. But I do have one similar to what he wears in a few videos. But I got the glasses, I have a wig, I got a sweater and some bleached jeans, some white dad shoes. So the idea is I'll walk up and anytime someone like wants to talk to me or whatever, just blow it off. Or if they come up, I'm like, what are you supposed to be, pal? And they're like, oh, really excited about the costume, and just and walk away from them. It's going to be fun.
Well, my Halloween costume, I've already started phase 1, and I cut my hair into a mullet. I don't know if you can see here. I buzzed my hair.
Kiefer Sutherland, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna shave like diagonal lines in my in the side of my hair. I'm gonna give myself some steps, and as I become descending into lost boydom, and
bleach it.
No, I'm not gonna be a character. See, I never. As many movies.
I'm not going to be a character. I'm just going to have the exact same hairdo as one of the guys.
They all had kind of mullets, and my hair's too curly to do that look. No, I never like to dress up as a one-to-one character. I never like to go, I'm going to be this particular character. I always like to take a thematic idea and do my own twist on it. So I'm going to be like, you know, maybe there was a lost boy that wasn't in Santa Carla. He was like off visiting, you know, his slam piece down in San Francisco or something.
What a phrase to use there.
I mean, you know, it's the 80s and they were bikers, like they were like cool beach bikers. So of course they had slam pieces. It was maybe like what a vampire's like slam piece be where you can like you just like go you make the face. The more you make the face, the more I'm gonna say slam piece. But where that just, you know, it's just like a really good suck that you get when you go.
These are things that you can't say. Oh wow,
vampires.
Okay. Vampires suck.
Well, you like just get a good old taste, and you're just like, I don't want to drain you completely, but I'm gonna come back for a little bit more. And yeah, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be the lost boy that you know was just out of town when Joel Schumacher was there making the movie. There we go. Vince over on YouTube. He says a coffin rocker. So yeah, I got a little coffin rocker down in San Fran, and I'm gonna go get a little quick suck. Vampire stuff. Oh man. You know, I wish someone would be Ghost Dad coming out of a phone. Speaking of Bill Cosby. Yeah, Beatbox Halloween Dance Party. That's what we're all going to be at this Friday. Hey, there's some pictures. There's a pic. That was me in that one. That's me. Good times. We had over 500 people at the party. A lot of coffin rocking going on there at this. Hey, there's our producer there.
There were some cool boys right there.
Yeah, producer right here at the Speaker Labs over there. You can check this out on our video page there, or you can go to beatboxhalloween.com, see some of these photos, link to our Facebook. It is all right there. But yeah, that's going to be this Friday. Got a lot of work ahead of us. But let's get back to the movies. We need to talk about some new movies that are coming out this weekend.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. Before we get too far away from what we were originally even talking about.
Sucking and coffin rocking.
Vince is saying that all... help me remember the name so I can say the name. And Alexander, Jason Alexander is wanting to be the penguin.
Costanza.
Yeah.
I'd allow it. He'd be the angriest penguin ever.
Jason Alexander is a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
And he has range, and people don't realize it because they always relegate him to being George Costanza. But Jason Alexander can pull off some good roles like that. He's been a bad guy once or twice. He can do it, man.
Yeah.
I would like to see Jason Alexander as like a bad comic book guy.
A little bitty bad. Yeah. He's a small dude. He'd be a bad little bitty.
Most people in Hollywood are small dudes.
I know. Why am I not famous? Jeez.
Everyone always gives the other Jason
Statham.
No.
He's a pretty short guy.
The guy from How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Muppets. You know what I'm talking about?
Kermit?
No, dude. He was in I Love You, Man.
Paul Rudd?
No, man. The other one.
I don't know.
Jason something. He was in Freaks and
Sudeikis?
Geeks. No, dude. Anyhow,
He's tall.
The point is, they're always like, "Oh, he's 6'1". He's a behemoth." Dude, he's like 6'1". Jason Segel. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk about some movies that are coming out this
I
weekend.
dwarf him.
By 3 inches. 5 whole inches. Dang. Okay, you gotta not say all the jokes I don't want to say. There's movies opening this week, and surprisingly, only one is a horror movie, and it looks so bad. But this weekend, October 25th, 2019, we got 2 movies coming out. One that actually looks pretty good, and one that looks absolutely terrible. The pretty good looking one is from director Deon Taylor. And it is called Black and Blue. It is about a rookie police officer, Nollins, has to try and kind of balance her identity as a woman of color and also as a police officer when she witnesses some other dirty cops like committing murder. And it's like, okay, well, she's on the run, but in that part of the country, people aren't really hip on police officers, and so she's kind of got her back against the wall on 2 fronts. And it looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna might check this out. Although this weekend, I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
That's the movie you think looks good?
I mean, it looks better than the next movie I'm gonna talk about. But you know, I'm truth be told, I've got the Beatbox Halloween Dance Party this week. And it is my biggest night of the year, and I just don't think I'm going to be seeing a movie this week. I'll probably come in next Monday and just give you a rundown because it's going to be right before Halloween. It'll be like a Halloween mini special. We're going to be coming in looking spooky. We might even come in costumes because we'll already have them. And we'll be talking about spookins. We'll be all the spookins. Speaking of spookins, I watched Evil Dead 2. Just had it in the background while I was making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Jell-O shots for this party on Friday. In excess of 500 or more Jell-O shots that I was making. But anyway, I had Evil Dead 2 going on, and I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Sam Raimi and old Ash Williams himself,
Bruce Campbell.
Right here, got my little Ash versus Evil Dead action figure right here with removable robot hand and chainsaw arm and boomstick. But Ash Williams, they have chosen a director, and they're executive producing a new Evil Dead. I don't know.
But that means that Bruce Campbell's not going to star.
He said he's getting too old for. He Danny Glovered him. He's getting too old for this shit. So he's just going to executive. And if you know Bruce Campbell, he's going to cameo. You know he's going to do something.
That's not good enough.
No, it's not.
Need him to be.
I think the
Ash.
I think the arc of Ash, though, from Ash versus Evil Dead, which was fantastic. If you've not watched it, catch up. This month is a perfect. They cut it off too soon, but 3 seasons. We got 3 seasons of an amazing sequel to this amazing franchise.
You know, a series that I never got to finish that's very similar to that, and I need to find if there's more that I haven't seen yet, or if they just canceled it, like Evil People. Todd versus the Book of Evil. Or Todd and the Book of Evil.
Todd and the Book of Evil. Yeah.
That was a really good show.
That was pretty fun. I liked that one. But anyway, okay. Speaking of horror movies coming out this weekend, this is. I want to make a list of all of these movies that are like this. They come out once a year, twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. You always forget about them, and they're just these throwaway red box garbage butt dumpster fire poo stank, like straight to not even DVD, like UHD, PSD. What were those things that you put in your PlayStation Portable? The little UMD discs. Like that's the farthest this thing will ever go. But they're just these little horror movies. It's like teenagers that are using the internet, and then there's a boogans in the internet that comes and spooks them all, and it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer meets Scream, just done really poorly every year since those movies came out. But this one's called Countdown. Ooh, and it's about a nurse downloads an app that claims to predict the moment a person will die. It tells her she only has 3 days to live. With the clock ticking and a figure haunting her, she must find a way to save her life before time runs out. So you download an app, and it's like one of these apps that everybody has. It's like, what Harry Potter house are you? What are you gonna look like when you're 99?
I like how you're sitting here acting like you ain't know what house you're part of. Hufflepuff.
Ravenclaw. Duh, dude. Ravenclaws. Where my Ravenclaws at?
You tell me you sit around just read books and you ain't in the kitchen all the time? Hufflepuff boy.
I'm not a Hufflepuff. I'm a Ravenclaw. I get in the alchemical labs, and I use my intellect to overcome problems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm that Gryffindor boy.
I know, you silly Gryffindors. But anyway, they download this app, and it just randomly generates a number, and that's your countdown clock for when you die. But then it actually is. So it's like, what was that movie that they made like 7 versions of?
What if they made an app tie-in? Is there like a real-world app tie-in for this movie?
You know there is.
That would be fun.
But Final Destination, you guys remember the Final Destination series?
Yeah, did you see in Georgia the real Final Destination log accident thing happened to somebody? What? And they lived?
Whoa! And they were like, yo, dude, I saw death pushing those logs off the back.
That was in the news today. Someone in Georgia, a trailer full of logs, and it went through their windshield, out their back windshield. But they lived through it.
That also happened in The Descent, didn't it? Not The Descent.
I don't watch creepy
there was
movies.
There was some other movie like that where a log just goes right through the window and murks everybody like right at the beginning.
Also, Vince said that friggin' Todd in the Book of Pure Evil only had 2 seasons, which means they did cancel it, and that sucks. And that makes me hate Canada.
Stupid Canada.
Yeah.
But Countdown looks like doo-doo fart garbage. I don't know why anybody would want to watch this crap. But it's coming out in nationwide release. Expanding into more theaters. I'm hoping we're going to get it here pretty soon. I don't think we're going to get it this weekend, but we might get it the next. I do know that it's getting closer and closer to us this weekend, but The Lighthouse. And I've been seeing lots of really good reviews with this new movie. It's just Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. It's shot in, standard, like I guess you would just call 9:6 pan and scan format, which is kind of odd to see in a theater, but it's all grainy black and white. The medium is very much a character in this movie, and I've heard a lot of really good things. Definitely want to hopefully check that out, and I think we're going to get it in Tulsa here this weekend, and then we might get it here the following weekend. But also coming out, I don't know if we're going to get it here, but Houseful 4. Have you seen any of the Houseful series, Grit? This looks like
I haven't, but when I was looking up the other day movies being released in Indian cinema, that was one of the ones that I looked at, and I was like, well, that looks fun. So if we do get it, I need to get caught up on that series and
go check it out,
see about it. Yeah, I mean, it looks not bad.
Right on. Well, those are the movies that are coming out in theaters this weekend. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about movies that are in theaters right now. Let's start with Jay and Silent Bob, because it was the Fathom event. So it's going to be a little bit before it gets into expanded. And the Reddy already is currently in theaters here. Probably not where you are if you're listening literally anywhere else in the country. But yeah. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Tell us about it.
Did you get a chance to see it?
I didn't. I've been so busy planning this party.
Unreal. Yeah. So Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I mean, it's just that. Kevin Smith wanted to make a couple of movies. Unfortunately, he's in one of those situations in Hollywood where you don't own the rights to your own creations. So the only thing he did still own the rights to was the Jay and Silent Bob franchise on its own. So he couldn't do Clerks or Mallrats or anything that he wanted to make yet another sequel to. So instead, he made a reboot.
A reboot duquel.
Yeah, it's a reboot, remake, sequel, all rolled into one. They make sure you know that. They explain everything there, and it's all just a giant joke. But at the same time, it is everything that they are making fun of that you hate and they hate. But they roll it all out there for you. Nothing new in this one. You're getting exactly the same thing you got in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, just a little more 2019. Lots and lots of celebrity cameos, and you kind of get a story. It is actually about Jay, who had a child, unbeknownst to him, with Shannon Elizabeth's character from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So he finds out he has this daughter, and they're once again traveling to Hollywood to stop a movie being made about them, which is a reboot of the movie they went to stop in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
It actually sounds kind of funny.
Well, sounds funny,
But
yeah.
when you got out of the theater, I texted you, and you were just like, well, let me tell you something.
Right. So, I mean, basically, it is exactly that, what they told you it was. You don't get anything new. All of the jokes are recycled. Everything is some sort of in-joke. If you're a Kevin Smith fan, or if you follow their real-life kind of escapades, which it's not the first time he's snuck things like that into the movie. I mean, Clerks was based on their real life. The Quick Stop is where Kevin Smith worked in real life, because he wanted to work at the video store next door. So he wanted to be Randall, but he was stuck being Dante, but they actually are from Leonardo, New Jersey, like all of that from the animated series on up. Clerks, everything, that's all just based around their real lives. Jay and Silent Bob is Jason Mewes, and Silent Bob was just a character created to allow him to showcase himself and bounce off of someone else. But so you get a lot of inside jokes about the movies, the series, all of his other movies being brought together, which in all of his interviews, Kevin Smith does keep referring to as his universes coming together. He does, man. He's comparing himself to Marvel and everything.
It's funny, though. Kevin Smith is definitely one of the few guys that in this Hollywood world that, has managed to... You always run into that group of bros that are like, man, somebody should do a TV show about our life. We're freaking cool and hilarious. And they're really not. But Kevin Smith is one of those rare examples where all of these movies and all of them TV shows have been kind of made about his and his friends' lives. And
I doubt Dogma was, but...
Close, but it's starring him and all his friends.
Sure, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You get everybody in this movie. It's packed full of celebrity cameos. Every scene, there's not one cutaway on the film that you're not seeing someone else new. It brings back everyone that you've seen in any of his movies.
Was Joey Lauren Adams in it?
She was.
Was she?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She actually... was a character brought in with Ben Affleck's character, who was the comic author. So they both reprised their roles from the Chasing Amy film.
But not Mallrats?
No. Jason Lee reprised his role from Mallrats. But who's to say that Joey Lauren Adams' character isn't the same one in Mallrats and Chasing Amy? Because her only speaking lines in Mallrats is when Bob keeps accidentally stepping in on her in the changing rooms.
Well, Amy was a lesbian, right? Ish. And then in Mallrats, that one girl, she gives a little bit of relationship advice at the end to the main character, who was that Courtney Cox? Was that? No.
What? No.
Someone who looked like her. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a minute. But yeah, Silent Bob kept like crashing into the changing room.
Yeah.
While she was in various stages of undress.
So you get people that reprise a lot of their roles. Justin Long reprised his role from Zack and Miri. You get
Johnny Dalton on YouTube wants to know, was there Buttman? Says no butt man.
But man, that was Howard Stern's character from the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah, that was, or was that Fart Man?
Maybe he means Blunt Man. Oh, it was
Blunt
Fart
Man.
Man.
Yeah, it's Fart Man.
Blunt Man. So, I mean, that was one of the other big cameos you got was in the Blunt Man and Chronic Reboot. You had Blunt Man played by Val Kilmer, which was fun because Val Kilmer was Batman and Blunt Man is based on Batman. And then Chronic.
So, like right now, like real life current Val Kilmer?
Yes.
Oh my God! How
But
did that?
he's Silent Bob's character, so he doesn't have to talk.
He doesn't have to say anything.
It worked perfect.
Oh, because yeah, he is in some rough shape
Right,
now.
but that was the whole thing. He was playing Bob's character, being Blunt Man, and he's also Batman. And then Chronic was made into a female character, but it was played by Melissa Benoist, who is Supergirl on CW's Supergirl. So Blunt Man v. Chronic, you had Batman v. Supergirl in a movie, within a movie. And that was kind of fun.
So yeah, there's layers.
So it kind of you had fun if you were in on the know until they pulled a Family Guy and felt that you also needed an explanation afterward. Every time in the movie where I was like, yes, like that's a good joke. That's a good inside track. If you know anything about these movies, if you've watched any of them, if you know about their lives outside of the movies, that's like a little fun nod to you. And then they would just explain it away and kind of take every bit of the fun out of it. So, it presents to you some fun parts all wrapped in a terrible package of a reboot, remake, sequel. But then it takes every bit of fun out of it for you while you're in the midst of trying to enjoy it.
That's a bummer.
It was a bummer. All in all, I mean, it's a Kevin Smith movie. So if you think Clerks 2 is an okay movie, then you'll probably like it. But if you like any of the good ones, it's probably one that you don't have to go watch in the movie theater.
All right. Well, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was a Fathom event.
Buddy Christ does make an appearance. That's one of like the little trinket, like if you know what's going on in it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is there. It'll probably end up getting I wouldn't say it's not a nationwide, but maybe like a limited to expanded run.
Yeah, this was supposed to be its nationwide release. It was also the pre-showings for the 15th and 17th. 18th. When was it? Monday and it doesn't matter. No, it was Tuesday and Thursday. So whatever. Tuesday was the one where you got the poster. Thursday and blooper reel at the end.
Thursday was the double feature.
And Thursday was the double feature. Yeah, which they kept advertising something special at the end of the movie, like there was going to be a featurette, like a lot of the Fathom events, interviews or something like that. There wasn't. There was only a blooper reel and one tiny little stinger at the end of the movie.
Sounds like a stinker.
I'd be curious to find out if those were on the Thursday showings, because I feel like the movie cut off without adding anything special to it, and I felt kind of gypped on that. No, you can't say gypped. Gypped's not okay to say.
It's not okay.
I felt
it's insensitive. You can't say that either.
Can you not?
No.
I don't know.
People named Rob.
Duped.
You can't say duped.
Whatever.
You can say you just can't. You have to like everything. You just can't. You can't be upset about it.
If you missed it this go around, check to see if the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot tour is coming near you. They're doing a 22 city tour. They may expand into more as well. In which case, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith will actually be there with you in the theater, and they have a Q&A session as well.
That sounds pretty sweet.
So check out the tour if you missed this go around and really want to see it. And that one might be the fun one to go to, since you can actually ask questions and things like that.
All right, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Tell us about your Reddy already.
Oh man,
that's the next
2
one
in a
that
row.
You guys saw. Yeah.
So another movie that I watched, I think the day after that one, just big time movie boy. I watched the Telugu movie that's out right now, released for Gandhi Jandi. Is that what? Jayanti. Gandhi Jayanti.
That's a name.
Yeah, it's a holiday in India celebrating the birth of Mahatma Gandhi. So it was released on the birth of one revolutionary fighting for the independence of India about another one. What was his full name? Uyalawada Narasimha Reddy. Real independence fighter in the history of India. The movie is Saira Narasimha Reddy. Saira being the battle cry of him in the movie. And it was a tale of revolution, fighting against oppressors, enslavement, standing up for your people, and just not taking being run over, controlled anymore, and really putting up one of the first fights against British rule in India in the 1840s, based on a real guy, true story, with a lot of embellishment. But that's to be expected. It was,
Could he fly?
No, but he could hold his breath for a crazy long amount of time.
Like Guybrush Threepwood?
Longer.
What?
Yeah, because
long time.
Guybrush will eventually die if you leave him in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like, I think at least 10 minutes he could hold his
something,
breath or something like that.
But it was fun, man. It was a good story. It was powerful. It was moving. There was a lot of dialogue that would just bring up emotion in you, because it was a true story based on a real guy fighting against British rule, the East India Company, and everything that was. You kind of saw some of how they treated Indians as less than humans and things like that, and they really got into it about enslavement and British rule and how violent it could be, and traitors within the ranks of the revolution and all this stuff. So you got everything that you really want out of a Indian cinema movie. You got a powerful story, strong characters. It was kind of like Avengers Endgame of Indian cinema. You had people from Hindi cinema, you had people from Telugu and Tamil cinema. All of these big stars, they were all sharing the screen together. It was a movie about Indian independence, getting all of the Indians together. And in the movie, you have all these Telugu people, and then you have these Tamil people who come out of the woodworks because there's bounties on these people because they're starting revolutions, and they take out the guys that are trying to hunt the bounties, and like, we're teaming up with you, and like, but you're Tamil, and they're like, but we're all Indians, and you're like, yeah, this is dope. And they all fought like the bigger enemy. But it was, if you want a movie like that, if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, Endgame is my absolute jam because, sorry, you're an idiot. Watch something like this instead, because you get big battle scenes on screen. You get a story that really grabs you and brings you into it and involves you. And it's based on real events and real people. But you also get these characters. Like there's a female character in it who's just ends up being the most badass person in the entire movie. And all of these people are heroes of their revolution. And you see people die and fall, and you see them betrayed, but you see their victories in their families, and everything in it was incredible. Of course it didn't have great CGI, but that's really not what you're there for. Like if you're one of the people that likes a video games for its graphics, get out of here. That's not what it's about. It's about the story that really brings you in, and it had a very strong story. All of the directing style was really fun. So the visual effects weren't there 100%, but it didn't need to be, because it got across the idea of what the story and what was on screen were both showing you and where they were going. And as soon as we were out of the theater, it was like that was one of the most fun movies. And they actually kept the intermission intact.
What?
Which was...
that never happens.
It never happens. So the intermission was intact. I got to get up, use the bathroom, stretch a little bit, get ready for the second half of the movie.
Refill your popcorn and
and
soda
it was
pop.
so cool, because the first half of the movie is about like who Narasimha Reddy was. And he's regarded as like a deity in parts of India, you know, but you get to see who he was as a person, how he started, and how he moved all of these peasants and farmers to join up and fight with him as his army, which is something that, you know, you just didn't see because he was upper class and he was like so beloved by the people and treated them so well. He got them to revolt with him. And then the second half of the movie is like the war starts now. And then it was on for the whole rest of the movie.
Utilizing an intermission well.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man. Everything about the movie was just fun. I mean, I want to watch it again. I actually missed like the first 5 minutes because there were no trailers.
Missed the first 5 minutes, going back for another 3 hours.
Hey, man, worth it. It's a good-ass movie.
Okay. All right, there you go. It's playing in not a whole lot of theaters nationwide. We've got it, I think maybe only one more week.
Yeah, I hope we still have it locally. It's up at the Pinnacle Malco only.
Well, all right. That brings me to the movie I saw this week, which was Zombieland Double Tap, the sequel, of course, to the original Zombieland that came out in 2009. So 10 years ago, we have waited for, we have all just been eagerly awaiting
really?
A sequel to Zombieland. Zombieland Double Tap, named off of one of the rules that Columbus, the character played by Jesse Eisenberg, who has the series of rules that makes its way on screen through sort of a very stylized use of graphical interludes that come through the movie.
Well, that's how the very first movie opens. Its first scene is him going to get gas, right? And it introduces the rule set.
Yep. And they're omnipresent through the whole film. When a rule pops up, sometimes it doesn't even explain it. It just shows it. Like if they're doing a thing, then the rule will just drift in. It's like, oh, there it is. They're doing something that's a part of the rules, which is kind of neat. It doesn't require a whole lot of extrapolation and over-explaining. It's just there. But this picks up, 10 years later. They've been running around, living in this post-apocalyptic world, and have moved into the White House at this point, and have just made it home, and have been living there. And then I guess ennui starts to set in, and there's a little bit of cabin fever from Emma Stone and what's her name, Abigail Breslin, who didn't age very well. But hey, we don't always. And she splits. She gets kind of tired of feeling like the perpetual daughter of the bunch, because Woody Harrelson kind of takes on a fatherly role to Abigail Breslin's character. And she bounces like Emma Stone did in the first film, because they were both con artists. So they go chase her to a very similar plot device from the first movie, where they were all trying to get to that amusement park that was supposedly not occupied by zombies. And in this one, they are traveling at first to Graceland, which is Woody Harrelson's pilgrimage to Mecca, but it was all ruined, and they ended up going to this place called Babylon, and encountering a couple of people along the way. The movie is not complicated. The movie is pretty cut and dry on what it is. It's Zombieland again. But the humor is there. There are some pretty funny laugh out loud moments. They're taking, I think, zombies are something that I don't watch Walking Dead. I don't like it. I don't think it's done very well. Zombies like World War Z. I don't really like World War Z either.
Robert Kirkman is also in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and his cameo is actually pretty funny.
In Jay and Silent Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of cameos in this one. Not a tremendous amount, but there's a lot of fun inward jokes and fun things that if you watch the original Zombieland, or if you're know what's going on in pop culture, there's some kind of funny things. But the weird thing about this movie is, unlike a lot of zombie films, the zombies don't matter, and this is why I like this movie, and I liked Zombieland, because in movies that try to be too much about the zombies, i.e. World War Z, i.e., even as far as 28 Days Later, and some of these movies where it's like, okay, why are these zombies? How do we stop them? How do we escape from them? Like, I think that's boring. We've seen it. It's done. Like, what zombies kind of originally as a plot device to me find their biggest strength is if they are just a backdrop to tell character stories. It's like, imagine a world where we have to worry about this shit. We don't need to really think about the problem, but just how would people act in this scenario? It's kind of like, it's why people watch Big Brother, even though that's all scripted and garbage. But the idea is sound. It's like, okay, we'll use them as a backdrop that makes people act a different way and show different sides of humanity, and then tell a fun character story. And so these are characters that they continued to sort of grow and flesh out as that fans love. So you get to see it's a character story about 4 people that aren't family that become family, and the concept of home and the concept of friendship and family, and it's got some good messages with some really funny jokes and some really funny kills, and a couple of characters that you expect to hate and end up not hating. And Rosario Dawson, in the comments, I noticed that I can't remember who said it, but I think it was Johnny Dalton said he loved Rosario Dawson in Clerks 2, but I
hate Rosario Dawson in everything.
I know. We know you don't like Rosario Dawson.
Have you ever seen Men in Black 2?
I have seen Men in Black 2. And all them, I don't really like her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where she's like the night nurse, but she's also the
Are you talking like the Netflix shows or something?
Well, and I don't know if she's made it in any movies yet, but she plays kind of the idea of the night nurse without being called the night nurse, and she basically just has affairs with all of these superhero guys. Anyway, there's not a whole lot to say about Zombieland, but it's fun. It's fun. It's cute. It's a fun little ride. It's a good zombie. It's great for October. They make a really pretty hilarious reference to Bill Murray, because Bill Murray gets killed at the end of Zombieland 1, and he's not a zombie. And there's like a phrase where they called someone got murrayed, and then the character Tallahassee and Columbus hear somebody say, well, what's get murrayed? And they go, oh, it's when you kill somebody who's a zombie that's not actually a zombie. And like when Bill Murray, they go, man, if we ever find out who did that, and of course Jesse Eisenberg pulls a Jesse Eisenberg, and it's like, well, yeah, me too, and doing that awkward Jesse Eisenberg thing. But then at the end of the movie, it does a flashback of Bill Murray just killing tons of people when the outbreak pops out, and getting chairs and slamming heads, and just watching Bill Murray do anything
normal people.
Yeah, he's on the set of an interview for Garfield 3, and they're talking about him and Al Roker. All these people are trying to get him to do the hairball thing, and he doesn't want to do it. And then all of a sudden, Al Roker's like, "Oh, I'll do the hairball thing with you," but then starts puking up the zombie vomit before they turn into a zombie. And then Bill Murray has to just murder everyone, and it's pretty funny. I laughed a lot. And there's this obnoxious sorority girl that wears all this pink, and she's like, oh my god, who will never die. She just manages to always be around. She's like, I'm just really good at surviving. And you hate her at first, but then she drops some really hilarious jokes. That role must have been hysterical to play. But it was fun. I don't have a whole heck of a lot to say about it. It's doing pretty well. It had a decent budget. The original movie had $35 million budget. They upped that one to about $48 million for this one, and it seems to be working because it's making good money and getting decent reviews, and pretty funny. A lot of just silly jokes and good characters. It's hard not to like watching Woody Harrelson smack talk and shoot guns. That's it.
Isn't Luke Wilson in it too? As an Elvis impersonator?
No, Luke Wilson plays so there's a part where they stop off in Graceland and they go to this hotel and they encounter 2 guys that are almost identical carbon copies of Woody Harrelson's character and Jesse Eisenberg's character. So, one of them's this rootin' tootin', gun shooting, badass dude, and the other one's he has his commandments, not the rules, and he's, very much a Jesse Eisenberg character, and they're just who the hell are you guys? But they end up getting dead, and because they didn't follow the one rule, it's never be afraid to ask for help. And it's not a spoilers in the trailer. See, that is a thing, guys. Driving Speakerbox. If it's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler.
What trailers are you watching, guy?
All of them.
How about that? Hey.
Can't do that anymore.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Can they like reboot it? But they're like, it has nothing to do with Cosby, y'all. Nothing to do with Cosby.
Nothing to do with Cosby.
Here's Fat Albert.
No, that would be
Here's Bad Baby.
Yeah.
and
Here's slightly overweight, but very comfortable in his body, Albert.
Body positive Albert.
That's yeah.
oh man,
Mushmouth is like
speech impediment, but working on it. Mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, that was he was a joke. You can't
Let's make a politically correct friggin' Fat Albert copyright Driving Speakerbox.
Yeah,
2019.
it's Husky Al is going to be the name of it because can't call him fat. You
No,
can't
I
call
like the
him
body positive Albert.
body positive Albert. And what would his gang be called? Because gang's a bad word.
Oh,
You can't. They're not gangs. We got to get rid of gangs.
you can't
Pack.
say that. No, you can't.
Just a coalition. There we go. They're going to be the Fat Albert Coalition. Or it can't be fat. Dang, I'm already ruining it. The Body Positive Albert Coalition.
We're gonna sing a song for you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll have a good time with me and all my friends. We'll post about the people we don't like on the internet, singing nah nah nah. You can't say that. Hey hey hey.
Yeah, it's gonna be the song. It'll be good. All right. Anyway, Zombieland 2 Double Tap. You can check it out. It's in theaters, and
Vince said that they should call zombies up and comers.
oh. It's always fun when you get listeners in the chat that listen every week and then just use it against us. They come in.
Use it against you.
No,
Mr. Up and Comer.
Hey man, you said somebody was an up and comer the other day
To make fun of you.
No, you said it like legitimately because they were an up and comer.
Just like the zombies.
Gosh. Anyway, again, if you're not listening to this show on your Spotify or your Google Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever, you can take us on the go in podcast form. So find us wherever you love your podcasts, or continue to watch the live stream where you can participate in the chat like everybody else is doing. But that brings us up towards the end of the show. We need to do our box office roundup. In this part of the show, we tell you what made money at the top 10 movies in America for the last weekend. And the reason we do this is because, unfortunately, in our Hollywood climate, money is what makes everything go round. If things hit certain numbers, we get more of them. That's how this thing works. And it's just domestic numbers too. Like, worldwide numbers is just, it's weird how Hollywood works, and they don't really care so much about worldwide numbers. It's domestic jackpots. I mean, for example, the Addams Family did just marginally decent, and they've already greenlit a sequel for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I guess it has done just well enough to where they're like, all right, let's do it again. And if you want to hear our review of the Addams Family, you can check that out on last week's episode.
But they already fit in all of their nods.
I know.
They already did the same thing that we've seen three other times, to be exact.
I know.
Because remember the what's the one? The third one.
The
Family
one with Tim
Reunion.
Curry.
Yeah, that's
where he's Gomez.
Don't watch that one.
Oof. Ah. Oof. Ah.
That's who you should have been. That's the vampire you should be.
Oh, be Paul Rubens from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yes. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Oh. Yeah, just have like a ruler. I'm just walking around. Going, ah.
Dude, if we're gonna be like team up costumes, I could be Donald Sutherland and you could be Paul Rubens.
Heck yeah.
That would be cool.
I would be a Paul Rubens vampire.
I would be a Donald Sutherland teach Buffy how to slay vampires guy.
What else are you going to teach Buffy how to slay?
Math test?
Math. Yeah.
She's in high school, dude.
Seniors, bro.
Wow.
Haven't you ever seen Dazed and Confused?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
Have you not
except
seen
that Donald Sutherland's character wasn't friggin' McConaughey, man.
I know, but I was just thinking about that meme a lot lately. Did you see the one with Matthew McConaughey pulling up and he's got the head of one of the demon dogs from Ghostbusters and he goes, "Hey, you guys got any key masters? Be a lot zooler if you did."
I did see that.
I thought that was awesome. Anyway, all right, let's number 10, top 10 movies in America. It, Chapter 2, in its 7th weekend release from Warner Brothers, bringing in $1.4 million in its probably last weekend in the box office. They might try and squeeze one more out of it just because it's Halloween weekend, but I think everybody that's seen it is gonna. It has brought in a total of $209 million at the box office. Number 9, Hustlers from STX. This is probably going to be the last weekend for the Grip to check this one out. It's brought in $2 million at the box office. He just can't seem to get to the theater to make
I'm going
it.
to get caught up on these houseful movies and see if I can't find me an Indian cinema film.
You need well, if there's 3 more ahead of it, you need at least 48 hours to watch all of them. But anyway, Hustlers brought in $2 million in its 6th weekend release. $20 million budget brought it in $101 million at the box office.
Fun fact, real quick: did you know that Indian cinema is the largest movie what industry in the world?
It's big.
Yeah, they release like over 200 movies a year.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're all good.
No,
but they're releasing them. They're putting that content out there. It's because they have all the humans. They have literally all of the humans.
Yeah, and Bollywood is only 44% of that.
But that's a big percent.
It is, because Telugu, Tamil combined is like 36, and then you have like all the little dispersions after that.
Let's see, number 8, we got Judy bringing in $2.093 million at the box office in its 4th weekend release, bringing in $19 million.
That might be one that I try to see, because that one actually looks like...
I think this is probably going to be the last weekend to catch it, and it is playing here. I think it's playing at our local Malco. If you want to go check that one out.
Well, it says it's already been out for 4 weeks.
Well, it had a limited
Early.
release. Yeah, it had like a LA, New York. That counts. Number 7, Downton Abbey, still out there in its 5th weekend release from Focus, bringing in $3.1 million, bringing a total of $88.6 million at the box office. Number 6, Abominable from Universal, bringing in $3.5 million in its 4th weekend release. $75 million budget, brought in $53.9 million. Number 5, Gemini Man, dropping down in its 2nd week to number 5 from Paramount, bringing in only $8.3 million, up against a budget of $138 million. It has so far brought in 36 of those 138 millions.
Ouch.
That's not good for old Ang Lee and Will Smith, but it hasn't been
say,
Will Smith's first or last stinker.
I was about to say, you think that's going to be like the end of Will Smith big movies, or do you think they're just going to quit letting Ang Lee make movies?
They're gonna blame Ang Lee before they blame Will Smith.
Because usually on a movie like this, even though it's probably neither of their faults in any way,
happened. So he's got a few passes.
Yeah, but that movie was not good.
I know, but it made money, and as we just said, they don't.
I guess, yeah,
the money rule.
But I think it was marketing and just time when it was released.
Yeah, I think that this movie could have gotten some traction if maybe it popped in February. Because nothing comes out in February. Let's see what else we got. We got number 4, The Addams Family, which we reviewed on last week's episode. So if you want to download that podcast, you can. Bringing in $16.3 million in its 2nd weekend release, bringing it up to $57 million total domestic gross so far. I think it's probably going to have another pretty good run for the next 2 weekends while we're in October, but then it's probably going to plummet. It did drop off pretty hard last weekend, but we shall see. Number 3, Zombieland 2 Double Tap from Sony, bringing in $26.8 million in its opening weekend, a budget of only $42, doing okay there. Number 2, slipping to the number 2 spot in its 3rd week, Joker from Warner Brothers, bringing in another $29.2 million at the box office. $55 million budget, which is relatively low, brought in a total domestic gross of $247 million, pushing its way to the goal and record of the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
More than Deadpool?
It's about to beat it. Yep, there it is. So another R-rated comic book movie. Again, going back to when Deadpool happened, I said we're going to start seeing a lot more of these, and here we are. And I do hope that this is sort of a wake-up call to DC to start doing a little bit more, and just I think they need to embrace the darker, where Marvel's going all dick jokes and spectacle and stupid, and I think DC just needs to say, hey, we have an opportunity here. Let's go.
The Marvel movies are so backward because they're like, check this out, comic books are serious, they're not just jokes. And then now they're like, Hulk's dick. Look at Hulk's dick.
Oh, the collector's got semen on the console of it. Let's put Jeff Goldblum and talking. Yeah, he's talking about semen and orgies. And did you not watch Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, but I wish I didn't.
Yeah, and everyone's like, that's the best one. God, humans.
But we'll see how this new Batman reboot goes with Pattinson and everything like that. Does that mean, though, that they're going to have two different Batmans going? They're going to have like the Justice League Ben Affleck Batman if he somehow manages to stay on as Batman despite him not wanting to be? Or are they just going to call it quits with this whole Justice League thing, keep Wonder Woman and Aquaman going on their own, and then have...
Flashpoint Paradox, if they weave that in well.
How are you going to do a Flashpoint movie that's such a broad audience to try to market something that's such a big event that took 80 years of comics?
They'll screw it up, so maybe that's not a good idea.
They're like, hey, do you know about the last 75 years of DC Comics? If not, you're going to be lost. Here's Flashpoint.
Yeah, if anything, they should probably use some of their live-action DC Universe exclusives, live-action shows like Titans, Doom Patrol.
Titans and Doom Patrol.
Yeah, they're
pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
I don't know numbers-wise, but
maybe they could bring back Swamp Thing.
Oh, man. I'm so sad.
Man, Swamp Thing. Did you finish it?
I did.
Did you finish it?
Never started.
Oh.
But I just like Swamp Thing.
That was a really great, one of the best Swamp Thing costumes. The makeup, I mean, it was super good.
That's what I should be for Halloween.
Dude, if you could pull off a Swamp Thing, because you got the height down.
Feed people drug penis.
Just be in a giant ghillie suit handing people like drug penis.
Yeah, and then I'll have like a hidden zipper, and I can come out and just be a guy in boxers for their like drug induced like delirious like sex dream.
It's me. Anyway,
if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Swamp Thing 2 and you won't be lost anymore. You'll be like, oh,
you'll be found.
It really be like that.
It do be like that sometimes. All right, and the number one movie in America is Maleficent, Mistress of Evil from Buena Vista, bringing in $36.9 million in its opening weekend, doing pretty well for itself. I think it'll have a strong. What an October lineup. We got a movie about an evil witch, a movie about a killer clown, a movie about zombies, a movie about the Addams Family, a movie about like an abominable snowman. What else? And Chapter 2, another killer clown. Like, what a lineup of October movies. It's there.
There's that movie about the evil phone that no one wanted to see.
Yeah, that's next week. Countdown.
And now you...
Oh, no, Jexy.
Yeah. And now you have the new one about the evil app on your phone.
Yeah. Ooh. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, that is our show. Please spread the word and the love for the Drive-In Speakerbox. Find us where you find your podcasts. Just search for the Drive-In Speakerbox. There's a hyphen in there, and Speakerbox is all one word. And find us on your Facebook and social media on YouTube. You can watch the show live and be a part of it. So shout-outs to everybody that tuned in. We will see you guys next week for our Halloween episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
Later.